Welcome to What's the Obsession, a channel that respects both victim families. We ask that you do the same in chat and in your comments.
Oopsie, hold it. That's not the intro I can play because of those music licenses. Actually, with the premiere I just did, I checked it out way beforehand. I had it like uploaded to YouTube for hours, or actually since last night, and it didn't come up with any checks, you know, that like licensing checks or anything. And then after the premiere, I got banged with 3 licensing infractions for songs that were just, you know, playing, you know, as like an underlay throughout. And so I had to try to, so then you can't get monetized. It's like everything YouTube's like not monetizing, not monetizing. Had to try to extract that. I just want to send a message out to YouTube. Please stop doing that, because if I can find another way, it's been such a hassle lately, I will find another way. But moving past that, welcome everybody. I am so glad you guys are here tonight. We have true crime author Kathleen Hewtson here with us, friend of mine and true crime author, to talk about both the Watts case, which she was a pioneer in the Watts case. I don't know if you've read her book called Blood and Marriage about the Watts case, but it's absolutely phenomenal. It is by far one of the best books out there on the Watts case. And moderators are going to be dropping the link to her website throughout the chat. You can get the book on Amazon, a number of other places. Oh, I think her website links to it. Maybe I should ask her that question, the best place to get the book, but all of her books are amazing. Her most recent book that was just recently published a few weeks ago, it's called Dream House, and it is an inside look at the Kouri Richins case. So I don't know how familiar all of you are with the Kouri Richins case. We will catch up on the details of that case a little later in the live stream, because we are going to be talking about first the Watts case and then the Richins case. And we are so lucky to have Kathleen here to discuss the details of those cases with us. And thank you so much to those of you who became members. Louise McKenna, Lori Kip, Too Much Mom, and the Crafty Panda. Crafty Panda, I love it. That's so great. Thank you guys so much. And thank you everybody for being here and for your support. I'm really glad to see you guys. Thank you, moderators. You are amazing. Subscribers, members, everybody. You're the best. So, hey, Matt, Liz, Muck Boys, Anaphylaxis, Pepper, Sherry, my girl, how are you doing? Crafty Panda, Cynthia, nice to see you. Thomas McCarthy, seriously, glad to see you again. Meaning last night too. 210 CCAT. I'm not really following Diddy. I just saw that. I'm not really either, but I saw some big headlines, and damn, Diddy, damn. Jeez, Diddy. Ooh. Riff Raff, hey, how's it going? Liz, thank you for everything that you're doing. The country life of Chicken Lady. So happy to have you with us. It's an honor. Pepper, Marco. And let me just go up a little more. Cheeto Love. Let's see. DM Hub 1967. I just don't want to say that wrong. I don't know if I'm supposed to pronounce it differently, but welcome. I'm so glad you're here, Amanda Kay. Hope you're still here with us. I'm going to go back down to current time chat. If I did miss anybody, please don't take it personally. It's just because my eyes missed you, because they are sometimes imperfect. Actually, a lot of times they are. Hey, Crystal Burns, how are you doing? It's nice to see you as well. And Tisa Dela Cruz, great to see you as well. And Tisa informs me that the links for the books are on her website. Of course they are. Thank you for letting me know that. That should have been a no-brainer, right? Okay, so, all right. So let me bring Kathleen into the stream and we'll go from there. Hey, is it Melee, or do you say it like melee, like the trouble? Grandma Sherry, welcome. How are you doing? Nice to see you too. Pepper, did I say hi to you? Well, hello, Pepper, and thank you for moderating. So here comes Kathleen. Hey, girl, how are you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing great. And Tisa, thanks for putting that up. And also, Louise McKenna, are we related? It's
All
a
right.
name. Yeah, I need to know. Um, First of all, I want to say something, Kel. The work you've done, my God, I'm in awe of it. And I'm an obsessive researcher, but if there's going to be any justice here on earth for that horrible killer, Nicole Kessinger, let me name her and shame her, bring on the lawsuits. Nicole Kessinger helped kill everybody. Your research has
Mhm.
brought me there. And so, yeah, we're going after her. Kelly will be there with me in Colorado, podcasting every night. And I'm actually looking for boots on the ground volunteers in June in Colorado because I have a few hundred people that I need questions. This is just going to be very, very old school. And we're going to find out everything about Dwayne Kessinger. I'm going to find out Nicole's life history, if nothing
Yes.
else. We make
Yes.
the most hated person in America, replacing Casey Anthony, which is the one that
Hmm.
got away from me. And I started Dreamhouse because I swear to God, the parallels between Kouri Richins and Nicole Kessinger are just inescapable. Might get government justice on that one, but
Yeah.
we'll do our best on Nicole. She's got
They
an
both like to use opiates to poison people, maybe.
and be willing to kill them over and over again, which is not as easy as people might think. You know, the
That
first
takes a really special kind of
yeah,
evil human being. Yeah. Wow.
here in
That's
America, we like to, get up when we get punched in the face, but this sort of twists our ethos,
yeah.
disgusting manner. Hey, I
Horrible.
don't
Well,
know
let me
if you
just
guys
say, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
are Lush fans. I'm a big Lush fizzy ball.
Mhm.
I was
I
hoping
love Lush.
Lush is the best. I want to start a writing campaign so they'll create a new bath bomb called the Immunity Ball, and we can all bathe in it in honor of Nicole Kessner.
That would be awesome. Oh my gosh. As long
Uh,
as it doesn't smell like a skanky empanada, we're good.
but I think that was funny, by the way, whoever said that. What we do have here are federal charges that I don't know if she got an immunity back on. I think she got it on state, but on the Fed. I happen to know that have known as has O'Rourke because I went to him, as I always go to the prosecutors, um, that we had her on the poisoning of Shanann in Arizona and the poisoning of Shanann in North Carolina. These are federal cross state line transportation
Hmm.
in states that don't play quite as easily as my home state of California, or apparently Colorado, which I've now decided is the best state to murder someone in.
Yeah, my gosh. You get
They're,
away with it there, apparently. What's up
yeah,
with
they're,
that?
they're killing it literally. Yeah. However, I don't like to think that the ghost of John Benet Ramsey and Suzanne Morphew and Shanann and the children sit around and talk about
Chelsea
this.
Barrett.
Chelsea Barrett, we can bring O'Rourke down. This we can do.
Do you think we can?
No, I know we can. We're going to. Okay.
You know, the more I learn about really the atrocities that he committed within the justice system when he was supposed to be protecting these people and the games that he played and the low depths that he sunk to get his way. And now is, with the information that, kind of came about just
Yeah.
this past Sunday, we realize how serious it is for him to cover his butt. But he never should have gotten there in the first place.
No, no, he shouldn't have because this was one of the most heinous crimes in American criminal history. It still remains that to me, and
Sure.
he let her go. Okay, and now I know she did it. Um, as I think everyone who's read my book knows, I have never ever taken Chris Watts' word on how the killings went down. I wouldn't take his
Right.
word on what day it is, not to mention
Right.
nothing he said matches the physical evidence. And okay, for all of you
Mhm.
who have followed it, I'm sure by now you have gotten to know that magic little creature, Cece Watts, whose face never got big
Aw.
enough for her smile.
Aw.
She was a tiger of a little girl.
Aw, such a little sweetheart.
An absolute sweetheart, but she had a strong sense of herself and a strong sense of justice. he never could say what Cece was doing because he
No.
poisoned Cece with the OxyContin that Nicole Kessinger gave him. And I think that if we had some of Nicole's text, we would see one from the morning of the 10th, which, if everyone will recall, was his second attempt to poison Shanann. I think he actually, because he's an idiot, he can't think for himself, texted her, should I put it in her Thrive Shake this morning? And Nicole, absolutely do it. So, and I think she orchestrated the killing of Nicole Kessinger. Never thought OxyContin was an abortifacient. Okay, I mean, Google it if you want to.
What does that mean?
An abortifacient is, well, like the morning after pill, or
Okay.
But here's the thing: if you Google it, you will find that vitamin C in huge doses is an abortifacient. If you look up Oxy, you'll see it's not. So it was never anybody's intention for her to miscarry Nico just to be dead, which would then kill Nico too. And he and Nicole knew what they were doing all along.
Right. So we think, I mean, I certainly think, especially with, Nicole, I was just playing the video there to just get a view of Cece and some of the scenes that are so compelling in the Watts case. But, I think that Nicole Kessinger certainly had the intelligence to be able to look up, kind of the chemical effects of that medication to determine whether or not it would be the appropriate medication, the best choice, if the sole goal was to have Shanann miscarry. So that's what you're saying. So that clearly was not the sole goal.
No. The sole goal was to kill Shanann. Nicole Kessinger is computer savvy. Listen, back in the day on the Casey Anthony case, I thought one of the reasons they were going to lose because everybody thought Casey was too stupid to make chloroform. So I Googled it. How do you make chloroform? You can Google anything. And I found out. And it took 3 ingredients: ice, nail polish remover, and this shock powder that everybody who has a pool has. And you put it in and you make chloroform. It takes all of 30 seconds. It takes an IQ of like 2. And just for anyone who wants to try this at home, do wear a face mask because I made myself and my dog unconscious.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So it really worked.
It really works. But anyway,
sometimes I worry about the tests that you are willing to do on yourself, Miss Hewtson.
The Casey Anthony thing, I'll hate her forever for killing that beautiful little girl. And I blame her to this day for my Jeep Wrangler blowing up at that time as well.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to prove how maggots could come, and you can't get maggots. Just as an FYI, another thing you guys might want to try at home, unless you have a dead body. I put a Godfather's pizza in like she had, and no maggots, but I got cockroaches, and then I got bug bombs. But I didn't read the instructions, and if you don't unroll the windows, your car explodes. And then the police come to your house, and that's just the moment that you and your dog had chloroformed yourself. So it looks bad straight across.
Wait a minute. I just need to make this clear to everybody. So this is how dedicated Kathleen is to, in thoroughly investigating what she does. This is just one of many stories. In order to see if a pizza sitting in your trunk would generate maggots, which are generally signs of decomposition, as Casey Anthony did. She tried that experiment in her own car. As a result, she had a little icky poo poo bug problem. And when trying to resolve it, she didn't put the windows down, and boom, therefore explosion in the car. Girl, you are dedicated.
No, actually, it was very sweet of you to say dedicated, because some might use the word psychotic, and I'm not going to argue it. Okay, feel free.
It can be more fun that way.
Yeah, now I know that Nicole helped kill them. And actually did directly kill Cece, because no Oxy, no dead little girl. And I don't think if Cece had been killed, that Bella would have been murdered either. That created a chain reaction. He didn't go through all the trouble, that idiot, to drug those precious little girls because he planned to kill them. He did it so they would sleep through the killing of his wife, pregnant wife.
Yes.
Which he was giving up on poisoning at that juncture. And I guess because he'd been so unsuccessful with Shanann, he did not realize, but Cece was a very small child. I wish to God if somebody had to be killed, that Bella had been killed the same way, just went to sleep. That's not how it went down. No. And for that, will never quit. But
That's right.
I wish Nicole Kessinger were listening, because we're coming for you.
She might
There's no
be.
rock
She
you
might
can
be.
hide under.
We do. People do think. I mean, I don't know. People do think that she does tune in, and it's possible. So if she is, we just would like you to know that it is time for you to repent. The best thing would probably be to just come clean. It might do wonders for your consciousness. Although I do fear that she does not have any weight on her consciousness due to her part in these horrible crimes, because I think she just might be that kind of a human being. And if that is the case, she should be institutionalized or incarcerated.
Thinking more of the Supermax in Colorado, which is a nice prison. But, you look at this thing with the Watts case, and I compare it to the absolutely astounding DA and prosecutors team in Utah. I've been with on the Kouri Richins case, and it's heartbreaking. You see this crew, right? And they're bringing justice with hard, endless work. It's all minutiae, guys. You pull it in thread by thread, and then you have it. And they've done this, and they're astounding. And I'm not saying I did not like Officer Tammy in the Watts case. I blame all of this on the bad direction of their district attorney, O'Rourke.
Yeah.
But in the case of Kouri Richins, she's facing Margaret Olson as a district attorney. Whoa, have a good
She's pretty badass. Now, before we get into the Richins case, I just want to bring in a little video. I think it's from Law and Crime, that just gives us a rundown of the case, because, we know on this channel that everybody is apprised of the details of the Watts case, but I know that some people were saying, oh, I'm not refreshed on the Richins case or whatever. So let me just bring that into the stream so everyone can get on the same page before you go on. So just what you have to say, it means more to them. Because
and we have there's living children on the Richins case, which is a fine thing.
Oh my God, those poor babies. Oh, it's terrible.
They're gorgeous little boys too.
Utah mom of 3 who allegedly poisoned her husband with fentanyl to get his money is finally having her preliminary hearing. And our cameras are there as the prosecution shows the court why this case needs to go to trial. We're breaking down the top moments from day one for you right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. It's been years since now 34-year-old Kouri Richins found her husband, 39-year-old Eric Richins, dead in their bedroom near Park City, Utah. Richins has always maintained her innocence, swearing she has nothing to do with Eric's death, but prosecutors say she slipped 5 times the lethal amount of fentanyl into his Moscow Mule in March of 2022. And what makes this case very unique and what caught the attention of many people and the media is that Richins wrote a children's book about grief after Eric's death, even went on a local news station to promote it. This was before she was ultimately arrested. Now her case is finally having its preliminary hearing. After so much time, after a defense team switch-up, hearings over alleged prosecutorial misconduct, a fight over the victim's estate. Now, a preliminary hearing is where the prosecution has the burden to prove through evidence that probable cause exists that the defendant committed the crime in order to bound the defendant over to trial. Relatively low standard, in my opinion. In this case, given all the evidence that has been put forward by the prosecution that we've heard so far in the reporting, financial transactions, crime scene data, key witness, I believe that there is enough here, enough evidence to move forward. Now, the defense in a preliminary hearing has the opportunity to challenge the evidence.
And they did, the outcome of this was that, yes, they did determine there was enough evidence to move forward, correct?
Yeah, come the end of April or 1st of May in Park City, it's on like Donkey Kong for her.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to play. Oops, go ahead. Sorry.
A hell of a prosecution team.
Haha. Well, okay. I'm going to just play a little more of this for then. We've already got some questions for you.
I did just get news from her insider circle, though, that they are completely confident she will be exonerated. So, to be fair, I had to say that. There we go. Now I've been fair.
I don't know, Sky Lazaris. I don't know. We'll see about that.
Sky's long gone.
Oh, that's right. Just as it was coming out of my mouth, I remembered that. Oh my gosh. Sky is long gone. See, this is like how things are stuck in my head about this case. I need to change. But wait a minute. That leads us to the questions we need to ask you here. Let me just play like the next 2 minutes of this. Some people already have really good questions for you, and I have to go scrub my brain.
I'll have stupid answers for you guys.
Yes.
Their own witnesses, But stepping back for a second, things really went off the rails back in May when the defense team announced that they would be objecting to all of the prosecution's planned exhibits. And the prosecutor said he had no advance warning that he was going to have to argue whether every single one of his exhibits was admissible. You know, sometimes there's an agreement between the parties, stipulations that things can come in. So the hearing was delayed. And then just days later, Sky Lazaro, the lead attorney on Kouri's team, someone we have interviewed before here on Sidebar, filed a motion to withdraw from the case. Now, the specific details of that weren't given,
with me, Sky?
but it sounds like there may have been some sort of conflict. So a new defense team got up to speed on the case, history, evidence. They came prepared this week to argue against Richins going to trial. And Richins herself has been locked up without bond since her arrest, which came a year after the murder in May of 2023. And she's facing multiple charges, including aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, distribution of a controlled substance, insurance fraud, forgery, and there's more. The state says that Kouri Richins killed Eric because of money to get to his substantial financial holdings, that Eric had recently cut her out of his will. Richins had took out life insurance policies on Eric without him knowing. He was reportedly consulting with a divorce attorney. There's an allegation that Richins had been having an affair with a handyman. And by the way, Richins was reportedly in financial trouble thanks to this huge purchase of a multi-million-dollar Utah home that was never completed. And Kouri seemingly wanted to flip the home, but Eric was against it. And this wasn't the first time that Richins had allegedly poisoned or tried to poison her husband. No, the Valentine's Day before his death, Richins allegedly gave Eric a sandwich, and he immediately broke out into hives, had trouble breathing. That's part of the charges that Richins currently faces. Also, during a vacation in Greece, Richins allegedly gave Eric a drink, and he became violently ill. And this is all important for another reason, too, because Eric allegedly told his family at one point, quote, "If something happens to me, check out Kouri." So we want to talk about.
So do you think that all of those, all those details that he just laid out, do you think those are all accurate?
I do, because fortunately he didn't. Okay, guys, if I've got a true crime Achilles heel, it's this one. And repeat after me in your head: never, ever, ever take an accused killer's timeline or story, because you're an idiot if you do that. And I noticed that the long crime guy did not do that. So we didn't hear the stupid Moscow Mule story, which makes me bray like one. Okay. You know, I mean, back on Murda, I busted his alibi in that $10 million because it didn't exist. Please do not take, I know you're thinking, gee, why would somebody facing life in prison or the death penalty tell a falsehood? Why would a killer tell an untruth? It is a big puzzler. Just know, if they said it, it's a lie. Go back and look at the evidence. Now, Kouri, there was one picture on there that was funny. It shows her mouth twisted up with this expression.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you realize how incredibly annoying it is to poison somebody time after time and come home planning to like scream and cry, you know, like Pam Smart did after she knew Greg had been killed.
Right.
And there he is. Hi, honey. How was your day? God, I almost feel sorry for her, you know?
Poor Kouri. She's just a failure, clearly. I mean, she's just obviously a catch. When he was reading all of those like qualities of her, like the insurance fraud, the cheating, the trying to poison the husband, the, you know, getting a life insurance policy on, I'm just like, she is a real freaking catch.
Well, the other thing that's weird is she's pretty good looking. Her lover is, okay, you know, please don't everybody beat up on me for this. I'm from San Francisco. Homeless meth addicts aren't quite as cool as you think they are. So she killed. It takes her a while, I granted 3 months to finally kill him. But she gets there, and it's all for a homeless meth addict who lived in his truck. And you're like, okay.
Wait, what?
Her lover is a homeless meth addict who lived in the truck that she bought him.
Are you serious? I didn't know. Wait.
Gosh.
I did not make that connection. Oh my gosh, my brain is suffering.
So
Okay.
what happens is
Oh,
Cory bought a lot of junk
there.
real estate in
Oh,
these, high deal things, and then she just didn't pay for them. And she
I
buys
didn't
this.
realize that was her lover. I thought that. Okay.
Oh no,
Wow.
that's loving, man. So
Ooh.
okay, so she buys this. Well, supposedly, she buys this seriously beautiful turnkey condo in Saratoga Trail, right? About 250,000. That's not, chump change in Utah. It was beautiful, turnkey, absolutely beautiful. And she makes one payment on it and then never pays again. She moves Josh, the homeless meth addict, into this condo.
Oh
And I
God.
would say he's living large, but if you read Dream House and look at the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
he decorated it in such a way that, well, it then looked like a shelter. And then the poor owner is stuck with it. Now it tests positive for meth. And so Kouri has,
Oh my
at that
God.
point, gets a guy with more money on the hook. And she evicts Josh and he moves into the truck she bought him. And that's where he was. He was living in the truck when the cops called him. Pulled him over for vagrancy. And that's when they found all these text messages and all these burner phones. And damn.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I was thinking the way, I don't know how I missed this, but I thought that was just, an associate that she had. And I was thinking, I was like, what is that like connection? I was thinking that perhaps it was her dealer, because it seems like Kouri herself had to have some
Oh, yeah. I
substance
believe that.
issue to
Because,
be connected to all of these people that were into such heavy
well,
substances.
she had put a secret safe in the master bedroom that wasn't even discovered till after Eric was dead. There was like
Oh,
paraphernalia in there. But the other thing is, remember, she made a big ass fentanyl buy. Was it 2 days after his death? Yeah. And,
wow.
none of us really like to speculate who that was for. I don't like life insurance on children. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Now that was okay. There was a question. Cheeto Love asked, and if you can answer this question clearly
Yeah.
for everybody, was there in fact a life insurance policy on the children?
Yes, there was.
That's
A large
disgusting.
life insurance policy.
And
That
was
is
that a life insurance policy that she took out?
Yep.
That is
Now I
very
know
plain.
everybody's thinking like Gerber Life, right? No,
No, not like
not
that.
Gerber Life. It was New York Life, and it was about $800 a month in payments for the 3 policies. So, yeah.
Just think about that. $800 a month in payments
Uh-huh.
for policies of your anywhere from toddler to very young child children.
Yeah, I know.
That is extremely abnormal to say the least.
Yeah, I think it should be illegal to take out life insurance on children.
I think it should as well. I mean, there really is no justification.
There isn't. Would never have life insurance on my husband or vice versa, because I think I used to joke to my kids, I don't have any life insurance, so remember that the next time you get annoyed at me, I'm still worth more to you alive.
Right.
Sweet
That's
thing.
funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So tell us tell us what's going on. Oh gosh, there's so many questions to ask about.
No,
Now, why do you think Sky Lazaros left, filed or wanted to leave the case? What happened there?
Oh, Skylar. Well, I got a real kick out of her, and
yes,
she really loved me too. And you can read our direct email exchange in the book, showing our massive love for each other. But I'll say this:
sarcasm,
definitely hot looking. What happened, I believe, is that the entire firm that Sky worked for was basically every attorney there was employed in one way or another. Kouri, we had the bankruptcy attorney, we had the custody attorney, we had the criminal attorney. So, she was basically the entire law firm's fund there. I think the life insurance, and then I also think that there was payments that stopped.
Okay.
And a lawyer can't defend somebody they know is guilty.
Right.
Am the greatest lawyer of them all. Don't tell. I know Sky didn't have her sit for a polygraph, and there's a reason for that, because your criminal defense attorney doesn't want to know.
Right.
I think, I fear she found out some unfortunate truths and
So you think she wanted to resign from the case for personal ethical reasons,
personal, ethical, and financial reasons.
or in professional ethical? Okay. Oh wow.
She's a hot girl. She's got a big career ahead of her. Whether she ever wins a case or not, with her looks, she could just go on court TV. So
Yeah, I see her all the time on court TV and stuff, and she's always commenting on a case that is much like the Richins case, where her ultimate conclusion is, say if she were still defending Kouri, well, they can't prove that,
yeah,
she's the one that poisoned Eric because they didn't find any fentanyl in any glasses in, the house. Therefore,
right.
they can't connect the fentanyl to
Okay.
Kouri, to
Now
Eric,
notice
and, oh, come on. I think she's a little dim. I don't know.
guy likes to forget that a lot of people like to forget. First of all, no Moscow Mule. Throw that out of your heads.
Right.
When Kouri tried to kill Eric, presumably in Greece, and then again in Mesquite, and then the Valentine's Day massacre that wasn't, she messed up over and over because Eric was still moving and conscious. I mean, that was pretty smart with the Benadryl and the EpiPens.
Oh, God.
Also, you could have called 911, but you know what makes you not able to call 911? You know what makes you have cotton mouth? You know what makes you feel paralyzed? You do know, Kelly, it's called Seroquel.
That's right.
And
I've taken it before, and wow, I stopped taking it real quick. Yeah.
On the third time's the charm kill, that was the thing first. Eric had and we're not going to judge him because I share this habit, this problem, this addiction. He had a Pillsbury cinnamon roll addiction. Yeah, liked him every night.
We're not gonna hate him for it. We're not gonna.
Let's not hate on him for it. I mean, if somebody wanted to slip Seroquel into my nightly ice cream, they're golden, man. I'm gone. And then put fentanyl in, because once I got cotton mouth, I mean, it could have been a glass of milk, could have been a bottle of water. I'm positive it was in opiates were in bottled water when she went to Mesquite. The fentanyl would have worked on Valentine's Day, but it didn't because Eric freakishly drank a bottle of Benadryl and shot himself up on an EpiPen and saved his own life. Not for long. He had 3 weeks to live.
Oh my goodness.
And, people ask why, and they even ask why Shanann stayed. And I say this, no matter what you think you know, you don't really know it. Does that make any sense? I mean, I've swum in the ocean my life, right? And I know there's great whites, but I've never seen one. And until I saw it, if I did, I'd never be able to swim in the ocean again. Maybe they thought something bad's happening to me. I mean, Shanann had to wonder why every time she had one of the Thrive Shakes Chris made in the last month of her life, she got so violently ill, but she didn't let herself go there.
Right.
He knew on Valentine's Day, he told everybody, but he really didn't think she'd finish it. Oh, that's a lesson for all of us, I guess, is sad. Terrible.
Yeah, because I mean, the level of her commitment to doing away with her husband is remarkable. And I mean, if nothing else, you think she couldn't possibly be that committed to the cause, even if she, in anger, out of a in a selfish, a rage of greed and I don't know, thought this was a good idea. Once she wouldn't continue to keep with it. So it's a remarkable kind of person that absolutely is so important that these kind of people are put behind bars.
And his little boys worshipped him. They were all four of them. They were best pals in the world. And all those times, those months that she took to kill him, she's knowing that she's killing them in a way too. I mean, come on, he's irreplaceable. They're not going to be fine. What was it? One of them said, well, she wrote the book and that was a grieving process. And then it was time to go on their lives. You just lost your father. You're never fine.
Right.
Your mother murdered him. Oh, don't get me started. Any questions? Sorry.
My goodness, guys, put some questions in the chat for Kathleen, either about the Richins case or the Watts case. Either is game. She knows a whole lot. So I would definitely use this opportunity to get that knowledge from her. And there was something I wanted to ask you about earlier. And
you want to know how my dating app is working? I'm trying to fix up Buster Murdaugh and Kouri, or Pennywise and Kouri.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Good thoughts, guys.
Nice.
Be beautiful.
Wow. I mean, I can more visually picture Kouri and Buster as being a couple, but I think as far as just what they're made of. I'm thinking that Chris Watts and Kouri would be the better match.
Or Kouri and Nicole Kessinger if they, decided.
Yeah, I mean, there are those choices out there, and that might work just fine.
Well,
They might be too much alike, though. I think they're too much alike.
Well, I think they'd be waiting for the other one to kill the other one all the time, but they'd be on their, guards. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, too. Great reality show.
I don't think that Nicole Kessinger's jealousy could withstand that relationship.
Well, Kouri is better looking. We have to agree to that.
She is. Yes. She definitely is. Now, oops. Oh, okay. So Cynthia Merritt says, I'm confused about the oxy unaliving Cece because there's no oxy in her system. So here's the thing about, the Watts case and the autopsies. Now, first of all, I've never covered the topic of the autopsies in detail on this channel. I have had a couple of experts who have weighed in on it. And, that is the information that I have used is, my opinion, because I am by no means a medical doctor, nor do I fancy myself to be one. So I know that is not my wheelhouse, but it is my understanding that, I don't even want to try to give you the reasoning why, because I don't think I could repeat it properly.
I will say
it wouldn't necessarily been the case that would have come out as a result in her autopsy. What do you know about that, Kathleen?
Okay, quite a bit actually, and thanks, Cynthia. It's a good question.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, there in the beginning, 6 years ago, where there was no Watts Island, when it was just me and Cindy, really.
Mm-hmm.
She actually promised.
Cindy Watts.
Oh, you could pull off Browkini. You're too funny, Monk Boys. Okay, Cindy with me that we wanted to know if Cece, if there was a hair test. We also remember something. This is very important, you guys. Chris Watts insisted on sealing all medical records on the children 48 hours after he was arrested. Ever heard of that before?
For 100 years, right?
That is correct. So he agreed via his mother to giving her power of attorney, and we would get those fucking medical records open. And then I know he backed out of the deal. Quell's surprise. Had a hair test, and there was vomit, pink vomit from Bella, who was alive when she was put in the oil tank. That wasn't tested. They had oxy. Chris, okay. The girls were extraordinarily light sleepers, probably because they slept too much. I mean, their bedtimes and naps were just ridiculous.
Right.
Shanann was known to yell at Chris. If the garage door opened in the morning, it woke them up.
Right.
And yet, if you'll recall the words of our lovely Nicole Kessinger about their loud phone call and the TV being on, the girls were dead when he was talking to her.
Right, because that was on Sunday night when they should have been alive.
And Bella was deeply unconscious. The oxy was used. By that time, Chris thought he couldn't kill anybody with oxy. Look how successfully he'd been with Shanann. To drug them so they would sleep through what he had to do. And maybe not, see Nikki there, because that would put a kibosh on their stepmother-stepdaughter relationships. He didn't want to kill the girls.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Why did Chris do what he did? The reigning fact of Chris Watts is that he is unbelievably petulant. He was a petulant little boy. He was a petulant teenager. He feels done down, important, but done down. I think we all know people like that in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And he was cruel to his mother, as cruel to his family if they didn't do what he wanted. Shanann had stopped making him feel really important. He blamed her for their finances, and then he met a woman that would have happy, clappy anal sex with him, and he deserved all these good things. And he's so stupid that was his reason.
Happy, clappy anal
sex. In Kouri Richins' case, it was millions of dollars. In his case, a lousy $300,000 and the right to butt fuck Nikki in the kitchen. Sorry.
I'm glad someone finally said it.
And love, yes, that is correct. For many years, and you got to wonder how they did this really good setup on the tax thing. It was the company would pay the taxes for the two owners, of which Eric was one. And Kouri said that she would personally give the money to the IRS, which of course she never did.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I mean, that girl's bold as a lion. I'm scared of
Yeah.
very few things, but the Internal Revenue Service, yeah. So
Yeah.
of course, the big estate that Eric left for his boys, or he'd hoped to, God, IRS money is every penny is owed. And then she spent their money on her legal defenses, and there won't be any money for those little boys. But you know
That's
what?
so
I know something
horrible.
good to say. Um, that family, they love those little boys. They spend every day making it right for them. There's nothing, and I mean nothing, they won't do for them.
Oh.
Yeah. So a shout out to their father's family.
To the Richins family. The Richins family have custody of those boys, and they treat them they give them as much love as a person can give, right?
They do, and they really,
Aw.
really love them. And now they're this actually pretty cute blended family, because the little one, you know how the baby of the family is always chasing after their older brothers, and they won't give you the time of day. It's a creepy little 5-year-old when I'm a man of 8, that kind of thing. That's normal. But now the little one has a cousin his exact same age, and they're best friends. And yeah. Oh, Muck Boy. Yeah, I'm the accountant. Oh, that was funny what you said. Yeah, well, Kouri's smarter than the IRS. If he didn't kill the girls, why did he allegedly strangle them a second time? Think for yourself. Allegedly is the word here, okay? Nobody strangled either of the girls. If you look at the autopsy reports, even the ones we can see, and Kelly runs them, you will see that they didn't know that. They just said smothered because descendant, whatever, Watts reported it.
Right.
And he did not strangle them. Chris could not have strangled them.
No, it was suffocation. So basically they died somehow by asphyxiation, which just means lack of oxygen, which really could lead to a number of.
There was no, guys, I'm going to pronounce this wrong because I always pronounce it wrong. Pekechier, when you're being smothered, there's blood in your eyes.
Yes.
Pronouncing it completely wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. It's right at the tip of my tongue, but yeah, go ahead. When I think
and that whole story that he made up, think for yourself. Geez, you're a gorgeous creature, by the way. Look at your picture. Anyway,
beautiful.
Yeah,
she has a channel too that's covered the Watts case way back in the day. Yeah.
At this juncture, remember that had the tape of the girls in the driveway. I'm sorry, Bella in the driveway, not been found.
Yes.
And Chris was shocked when he was watching the tape. We all saw him spinning.
Yeah, I think we see the shadow of one child in the driveway. I really truly believe that. One child
in the driveway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Bella was completely alone with the 2 people she loved most in the world being dead, one under her feet and one beside her.
Patika,
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I knew it was going to come to mind, a little delayed. Okay, something like that. Yeah.
That story, the second story, I believe, was to cover up, because at that point he was completely dedicated to Nicole Kessinger and all of her works. I never believed a word of it. And remember, if they hadn't finally gotten their heads out of their asses on that driveway tape, they would have never gone back to Wisconsin to question him a second time, which has never been done after a plea deal.
It has never been done. And, were it not, Rourke's decision to not prosecute the case, that never would have been done. And it really just speaks to Rourke's incompetence, among other things, at the end of the day.
And another thing, that whole weird thing with him, you've been arrested for capital murder, 4 people, because Nico counts. He would have been born. She wasn't going to abort Nico.
Right.
Anyway, and yet you have the wherewithal to seal the medical records, and that was to protect her. Always to protect her.
Yeah.
More of your, I'm going to take where I got that to my grave. God, I wish I could put you in your grave, Chris. Sorry that came out. I think I'm self-diagnosed.
I understand that. What
was the answer to Christina's question about the oxy? There is no proof at all that there was no oxy in the children. Chris Watts had the medical record sealed within 48 hours. I have never been able to see the hair test, but damn it, I'm going to. They did not test the pile of vomit, the pink vomit from the strawberry shake that he gave them the night before that came out at the base of one of the oil tanks, the one that Bella was forcibly carried up into. There is no proof at all that there was Noxie, and I know he did it. It makes perfect sense. They never, ever were heard from again until Bella woke up in, I really want to take a second here to think what that was like when she woke up. Because Shanann thought that both of them were dead. I know she did. When Bella woke up, Cece and her mother were dead, and her little brother had just been aborted on the ground there.
Goodness. So as I'm looking at Bella's autopsy report here, and I just wanted to refer to that just kind of out of my own curiosity here. And it's, there's statements that are made in the beginning, but then they are later kind of softened by, comments throughout the autopsy. It says this, the history of being reported missing and subsequently located in an obvious state of death within an oil tank battery, asphyxiation due to smothering, blunt force trauma of the frenulum and gingival mucus of the maxilla, and postmortem artifact. They're in a state of decomposition and submerged in oil, water, and sludge debris in the stomach. So I remember now what it was that the medical expert that I talked about, who did use
I hated the stomach because that means I know she swallowed at least a mouthful of it.
Yeah, I think that, oh God, is that due to the level of decomposition combined with the substance that their precious little body and their tissue was submerged in, it would be the level of testing, the sophistication of testing that would be required to definitively determine, various levels of toxicity in their system it was nearly impossible to do. That's what I was told by, the most, expert that I was able to.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to find all the autopsy reports on this. There were 6 on Natalie, and I think there's at least 2 on this case, but he drugged them. He didn't plan to kill them. He did kill them. Has anybody ever wondered why they were unconscious all those hours while he was talking to Nikki and the TV was so loud? Come on. And he never described a thing Cece did.
That's once. Right. That's right. And, that is always my biggest reasoning for people when they say, oh, they don't know we don't know if the story that Chris Watts, told was true about, taking them to Survey 319. And I think there's only partial truths in there, but what I do know is true due to the way he talks about what happens to Bella. If there is one tell that we can clearly pick up from Chris, that he is telling the truth, it's when he shows any bit of emotion, because he remains remarkably emotionless in states that would put most of us into an emotional, place where Go ahead.
He said Cece looked bad. Cece was blue. Yeah, you poisoned her, you fuck. I'm glad you did because of what happened to Bella. And then Cece, he didn't separate them into separate tanks for some, I don't know, whatever reason. He did it because Kessinger carried up Cece's dead little body and put it down. And Bella, gentle little Bella, she fought till the end. I'm proud of her for it, but I wish she'd been dead like Cece was.
I know. And he even says that, he remarks that about Cece, even in the interview with Tammy Lee and Graham Coder in the Frederick Police Department. He says a couple times she was blue. She was blue. He doesn't say that about Bella because he didn't see Bella turn blue because Bella was not deceased long enough in his presence for him to see that.
Utterly different descriptions right from the get-go.
Yeah.
If it was a tiger, she wouldn't have gone. People are abusing her memory if they think she'd have put up with that. And, I think I've told this story before, this completely adorable story about Cece in the last month of her life, but to me it illustrates her perfectly. She was with her grandma, Sandy, and her mom, her grandpa, her uncle, and they were all going out to dinner. And Cece had been in the kiddie pool all day, and she loved the kiddie pool. She was told over and over to come in to get changed, which she wouldn't. So Sandy picked her up. She can do that with 3-year-olds. Took her in, showered her, got her all dressed up. She looked adorable. Sandy turned her head, and all dressed up, she went right back in Thank you, Cynthia. You're right. She went right back to the pool. Ha, grab my mat. Okay, that's so cute. Believe me, she'd have raised hell. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
I
think
think so
all
too.
he was dug ahead of time. Yeah, actually, I do. Cheeto Love. And the reason for that is because I was out there that summer. And wow, 2018 is really the first summer I noticed in the West how freaking hot it was. And so we went out there and with a pick, and yeah, I'm pretty strong. I couldn't get 2 inches in the dirt. It turned to granite basically because there'd been no
Mhm.
rain, none.
Yeah.
And he was out there that day. He said he bought a like football fire stick or something, but I think he took the girls out to help dig the grave, and maybe Nikki met them out there too for a
Mhm.
whole family outing. I hate them. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, wait, I want to address this one actually. So Think for Yourself said HIPAA would protect their medical records, but toxicology isn't part of a medical record. So it was their living medical records that were sealed, but their autopsy medical records were redacted. So then she says, if there was oxy in her system, it should have been in the toxicology report. So the only thing, because I am not an expert, I'm not a doctor. I have never conducted medical or post-mortem medical exams. The only thing I can refer to are the experts that I trust who have weighed in on the topic, who said, again, due to the level of decomposition combined with the substances that their tissue was submerged in for the length of time, it would have required a more sophisticated test than was actually administered post-mortem to accurately determine different levels of toxicology in their system for certain substances.
Am in
So that's all
complete
I can say to
agreement with
that.
that. And the other thing okay, guys, this one was a first. I mean, nobody's ever put children in, if we ever put anybody in an oil tank, as far as I know. I mean, I heard the mob used to do that. Um, they'd put people in the La Brea tar pit in LA back in the day. But anyway,
Mhm.
there was horrendous skin slippage. I don't like talking about this, but it's very possible that both their scalps. Listen, you know what, guys? I promise you, we're gonna get to the bottom of this, and you will
Yeah.
hear about it. But I absolutely have doubts. Ellie admitted it from the autopsy. Totally agreed. Think for yourself. I've worked these cases, and there's always more than one autopsy report. Hi, Sarah.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah. Welcome. Garden Girl loves Kathleen. I couldn't
I love
conjugate
you too,
her.
except for your screen name, Garden Girl. I swear to God, my garden looked like Tim Burton's The Corpse Bride all year. So if you're a green thumb, we're friends.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. I'm
And
looking to see. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
is there any more questions for me? I always love being here, you guys, and
Let
you have made me do what I should have done a long time ago. I don't think it was a master plan to kill Shanann and the babies. Well, I think Wise Guy. I love Mafia too. Um,
Yes.
go to the Mob Museum in Vegas. It's so cool. Okay, anyway.
Nice.
I think there was absolutely a master plan to kill Shanann. Shanann was a walking dead woman.
Yeah.
And Nikki wanted that. I don't think Chris ever wanted to kill the children, but I know she didn't want them. Okay.
Yeah. Good point, cuz.
Bella said, Daddy, are you going to do to me like Cece? Well, Cece was dead. And Bella was a really smart little girl.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cute story about her. She always put to bed way too early. Both of them were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway. Cindy told me once that she would see Bella grab her little, get out of bed on the baby monitor, grab her little flashlight, and sit in the corner and read books to herself at 5.
Oh, yeah. I have a picture of that. I have a picture of her actually doing that. You can see it from the baby camera, and then it was posted onto Facebook, like, haha, but I was like, well,
Oh, and
God,
Leah,
that's
you're absolutely 2 things, Leah. One, your horse is gorgeous, and 2,
yes.
absolutely right. Nothing else would cause her to disappear. I mean, her Amber Fry moment really went up in smoke there. Fucking shame too. But we're gonna get her back, reappear, so she can be more locally famous. And then
Right.
we'll. Kelly's pretty good at this kind of stuff, so she'll just update her every time she moves. So you guys can send Christmas cards and stuff to her new address if we don't get her in prison.
Yeah, we want to make sure we're in touch. We want to make sure we can express our feelings. That's healthy, right?
Merry Christmas. Plan to burn in hell soon.
That's
Yes,
right.
we believe Dupsy Daisy that she was stuck in the family for many months more prior.
Oh yeah.
We're had a gym membership together, and we're going to get footage from that gym.
Yeah, I think I think that's very possible too. Something that is so, it's kind of small because we've heard it said a million times, but I wonder why we don't question it more is when Nicole Kessinger was telling investigators about the great lengths she was going to help Watts find an apartment, after he left his family. And she was doing this to cover up for the obsessive nature of her badgering him
That
to
is
get the fuck
correct.
out of that house. That's why she was talking about that so much.
The thing is, it's amusing to me that any of us have ever taken a thing she said about the length of their relationship at face value. It's like
Right.
taking things that Watts has said, or
Right.
taking Kouri Richins has said, or Alex Murdaugh. Oh hell! The only thing
But
I
she says
know,
it's close to the gym. It's close to your gym. Well, he wasn't supposed to have a gym. So,
I know.
like, where did that come from? What gym? He's not supposed to have a gym. His gym
Well,
is supposed to be in his basement.
I'll tell you what, if anybody has any time and wants to do some fun field work in true crime, please join Kelly and I in June in
It's
Denver,
coming
Colorado.
June. Seriously, let me know.
And yeah, we'd love it. And I mean, if anyone would like to go and meet every Anadarko or former Anadarko employee out there and talk to them, let's do it because it's going to take a
Yeah.
village to bring this bitch down.
Yeah. I mean, we're willing to be on the case, but we are only two
Was there?
people. And
Yes,
we need
there
napkins
was.
sometimes.
Love, smart boy. There was an electronic measuring device in the oil inside because I've talked to Nikki's the guy who had her job before her. And yeah, it was part of her job to watch for change. I think it was her idea to put the girls in separate oil tanks so the oil didn't raise too much. And she just went and made a little readjustment on that. 100%. Yep, good catch too.
And I think that the picture that Watts took of his screen or whatever, that they weren't able to tell what it is. I think that was possibly either he looking at something Nikki had prepared on the oil levels or given him a link to, or maybe they were communicating on it in real time. I've always thought that.
I thought that too, but they were always communicating on real time.
Yeah.
And, guys, Cal, always thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure.
In 6 days.
What's that?
I said I've got some packing to finish because I'm moving back to the city.
Oh, that's right. Well, happy packing. I'm so excited you're going to be a city girl again. I'm jealous, but I'm going to come visit.
Well, I'll tell you what, too. I'd like on my next show to show some of my immunity bath balls that I'm creating for Nicole Kessinger and Carmen Lauber on the Richins case. You'll know it if you read.
That's right. Next time we are going to be gifting immunity bath balls.
We are going to have to contest for signed immunity bath balls. Well,
awesome.
Everybody has a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for listening to me again.
Love you, girl. Thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure. We love you.
Bye, honey. Night.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. We love Kathleen. She is so great. It's such a treat to have her on. And I'm so glad that you guys were here and got to ask her some questions. So does anyone have anything follow-up night-wise? And I'm going to end this pretty soon because we've been if you didn't see the video that premiered, which is the part 2 in its entirety earlier this evening, go check it out now. If the sound is a little funky, you can thank YouTube for clearing my video for publication and then hitting me with 3 infractions for music that I didn't have a content license for. Hey, if you told me beforehand, like you're supposed to, YouTube, I would have taken the music off. But now I had to remove it after I had already completed the video, and I'm really afraid to go back and see what that's going to sound like. So once again, YouTube, you're on thin ice with me. But what can I do about it? I have no power. I hate that. Let me just see if there's any comments here with questions or anything. Hey, Tisa Dela Cruz, could they have been making preparations during the 111-minute phone call and Kate leaves her phone on, gets a burner. They incapacitate the girls and do their thing. I mean, it could be anything like that. Recently I talked about, this was like a big revelation to me. All of us, I feel like, have always said that we don't know anything that happened in that 100-minute phone call as far as what either of those 2 criminals had to say about it. But we actually do, because Kessinger, when she's asked and asked and asked about it by Kobach, who in my count had asked her about the 111-minute phone call at least 14 times across the 5 interviews he had with her, he obviously was really focused on getting to the bottom of something there, right? You know, she at some point says, "Oh, yeah, I know. He told me he wasn't going right into the office on Monday morning. He told me that he's going to be going out in the field, so he won't see me in the office." So she did say that, and it came to mind pretty quickly, and she didn't go on and on about it like she does when she's lying about something. The indicators that I observed in her when she told that to Kobach made me feel like she was being truthful about that. So if we know that one thing they did talk about in that 111-minute phone conversation is that Chris Watts was going right out to the field rather than to the office Monday morning, is that where the conversation ended? Or was that just the safe part of a much larger conversation that she felt that she could tell law enforcement to shut him up, in her opinion, but still to not incriminate herself in anything? Oh, I'm sorry you missed it, but it's posted now. Here, I'll actually grab the link for it if you want to go over after. Yeah, and I'm so sorry. I really am so sorry it took so long to get that going. It was for a number of reasons. I know it was ridiculous. I was very sick. There were some legal reasons. There were some, receiving hate and threats for, whatever. As a result, there was just a lot. And I mean, honestly, I was not in good spirits about it for a while. It was just a little too much. I very much considered, like, can I continue this? Like, it was the first time I've ever truly considered, maybe I don't want to have this YouTube channel anymore and do this, because I know if I have this channel, it's going to be a certain way. I can't say, all right, well, I'm going to have this channel and I'm just going to, kind of just on the surface look into things, because it's not my personality composition. And I just have to be real with myself about that. So for not communicating more frequently to all of you about exactly what's going on, I do apologize. It's not that I do not think your time is important or anything like that. I was just really going through it myself in a way that I really haven't since I started this YouTube channel. So I just needed to take the space, and that's all that there is to it. And sometimes, a person needs to take care of themselves. So let me get the link for you there. Seriously. Let's see. It was just preceding this live stream. Oh God. I'm so sorry for the sound if it's not good. Oh, I'm worried about that, but oh well. Can't do anything about it now, because I can't really take it down and put it back up. That would just make no sense. So, and I'm also just pretty much over editing that one. It's been a long time. Oh, and this actually is only the first half of what was the entire part 2 until the information I found out on Sunday. And then I basically split it into half. The original one was 223 minutes long, 2 hours and 23 minutes long, which probably was too long anyway. But that's how it was. And some people, I don't know. So anyway, I split it up. Just FYI. I had to. It needed to be then edited. So to update the content based on what I now know. Or else it wouldn't have made any sense. Or people would be like, liar. You're just a liar. Only adding to the aggravation. And I'm so sorry. I don't mean to complain to you guys, but that's just like what happened. Like, sometimes honesty is all you got. There you go. So there's a link. Yeah. Leah says, I think Chris was getting cold feet on leaving Shanann and the kids after his walk on the wild side. I agree with NK. I totally agree. I think that the 111-minute phone call was about him trying to dump her, and she threatened to expose him. You know what? I cannot disagree with you on any of that. I certainly don't know for sure on any of it, but I think that she perceived him pulling back at the very least. And that, in addition to some other things that I pay attention to, if you watch the part 2, the content that just premiered, pay attention to the timeline when I go over that timeline, especially to the first couple days when Chris is home. Let's see, on the 8th, I forgot to put something in the video. On the 8th, Chris Watts deletes his Facebook account on the 8th, and that's the day after they get home from North Carolina. And it's also 5 days before the end of the lives of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and the baby that wasn't born. So Chris Watts deletes his Facebook account also. That is the day that in Discovery it is noted Nicole Kessinger Googles topics related to marrying your mistress, indicating what? On the 8th of August, she still knew she was a mistress. Ain't no doubt about that. On the 8th also was the ultrasound, Shanann's ultrasound, where they were going to learn the gender of the baby. And then Nicole Atkinson was going to find it out. They were going to seal the envelope and do the gender reveal party later. On the 8th, we also know from the Geotab information that Chris Watts went to Nicole Kessinger's after work and stayed there right until the ultrasound. Nicole Kessinger herself also says that she was with Chris Watts, the previous Wednesday before the interview. And I think the 8th was a Tuesday. So I think she just got her days mixed up, or she was lying. She's been known to do that. Let's be real. And also, something I forgot to include there is based on Chris Watts' statement, Nicole Kessinger's statement, and the days that they were together. You can safely deduce that it was on the 8th that Nicole Kessinger gave Chris Watts a key to her apartment. So this was a really eventful day, ranging in a lot of different activities and different experience if you compare Chris to Shanann. And then the events that happened from there for the rest of the week, I think are very telling and are going to lead us to some very certain conclusions combined with information that we've been able to excavate through investigating. How are you doing? Anna Franco says, I think Chris Watts mentioned that Saturday night at the restaurant, he said he should have squashed the master plan. I don't know. If that's said, somebody please let me know, because I haven't heard that. I do know that he said, and thank you so much for commenting. I do know that he said that, if he had done something different, if he hadn't gone out with Nikki, on their date that Saturday night, that things may have gone a different way. That was really their last chance to each. He was talking about he and Nikki to change their minds. So things would, be projected along a different course. So Chris Watts knows, and he is telling us how pivotal that night was. And in the next episode after this part 2, I'm going to let you know one of the things that I know happened that night that helped to create fate. It's been there all along, but I've never, ever, there is just so much information, guys, right? And there's so many lies. There's so many different stories. And there is also a massive cover-up. So even though a lot of this information has been there somewhere for 6 years, it makes sense to me that people haven't put it all together in a way that is certain, because everything has been working against that. You know what I'm saying? I love one of my favorite comments let's see, the premiere that I just aired. Let me see what it is here. It's a beaut. Someone says, oops, it's gone now. Where did it go? I must have accidentally given it a heart, so it moved along. Shoot. I want to read it to you. Let me see if I can find it really quick. For those of you that are still hanging in here. I want to see the comments. I want to see all the comments. All of them. Not the ones okay. No, just for that video. I can't find it. But the nature of it was... I'm sorry. We know all of this already. Can we get to the truth of what we don't know? Oh, you know all of this already? I don't know about that. But if you do, please contact me. And I would love for you to just, if you want to help us get to the truth of what you don't know, if you make sure we can cross-reference, cross-check our notes, make sure I know everything you know. And if I don't, I'll totally give you credit for any information you give to me. That'll definitely help me move past what you know, everything you know, so I can get to the stuff that you don't know. That would be really helpful. I'd appreciate that. Yeah. So Muckboy says, Franco, yeah, I think you nailed it right there. You're right. He should have gone to the Broncos game. Yeah. 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 Oh God, the decisions we make that lead to fates. That could have been when they were doing the unthinkable. I think Saturday night is too early because, I mean, the girls were seen at the birthday party Sunday, right? Let's see, wait. Rochelle, hi, Rochelle says, I've also never forgot a lot of friends said things weren't in the right places. Referring to the house, or I guess I don't have the context. Sometimes I pick up, I want to know so much what you're talking about in chat, but I don't have the context and I can't figure it out. Oh yeah, this is a really good point, Amanda K. See, the drive-by theory never worked for me. So I'm pretty sure what she means is to explain why the ping, right? Never worked for me because if it was true, what happened? Wait. If it was true, what was her purpose? She couldn't see if Shanann Watts was home or anything. It just told her if his truck was there or not. It doesn't math. Right, exactly. And his truck would have been gone by then. Really great point. I never even thought of that. But, I mean, that's a freaking solid point. That's it. End of story. She didn't drive by. Here's why. Amanda K's got the answers. Thank you. See, sometimes it's like just that simple, but everything is so convoluted in this case. Even when you are pretty well versed in the facts, sometimes it's hard to arrive at the most logical conclusion. My girl Justice A through Z says, what's the obsession? Do you think the 111-minute phone call was to make it look like they were not together for those 111 minutes? Oh, you're saying maybe that's when it happened. See, I didn't have the context there. I got you, girl. Like maybe then NK would have an alibi. Totally possible. That is possible. I mean, that is a possibility. I thought you were referring to Saturday, and that just would have been altogether too early, but I knew you knew that. So I figured I was reading something a little wrong there. Well, thank you. I appreciate this. Cynthia says, I'm sick of people hating on yours truly because I'm not bashing Shanann. No, I'm not. Thank you. This makes me so happy when somebody just acknowledges that. It's crazy. I honestly believe it's jealousy because my channel's been growing. It might be. I mean, people are, yes, that exists. We all know that exists. I don't have to pretend. I'm like, oh, no, I have to be all humble, not my channel. I mean, I've worked hard to make my channel grow, and it has grown, and I'm so happy, and I'm so grateful every single day, and it's because of you guys, and I'm very, very grateful to you guys, and, whoops. I'm just happy that I tried out this YouTube thing because it's been awesome. And that's how it is. And when other channels are growing, I'm happy for them. I really, truly am. Unless they're like channels that are clearly trying to, do something that's going to be hurtful to somebody, but some people aren't like that, and that's okay. But yeah, I don't know. And like with this channel, the hate has come in waves, and usually either in the moment or retrospectively, I can identify it, but this past wave was a little different, and it sort of just sketched me out. Oh, thank you, Veronica. And the mods are wonderful. I mean, this channel would not run without them, period. End of story. They're so amazing. They work so hard. Oh, thank you. Seriously. Thank you. I appreciate that. You've said that a few times before, and I very much appreciate that. Ooh, Muck Boy is making a really good nuanced point here. This is a good one. I've never heard this either or thought of it. This is a very good point. Time apart helps people. When she got back from North Carolina, it felt like new. And NK was the old, skanky, moldy empanada. Along with her trying to keep it together, NK was old news now. Muckboys, that's such a good point. And it very well may have felt like that to Chris. And, you know, he even talks to investigators about how confusing it was for him to be with Shanann, to be with NK. And I'm sure that was the case. I mean, I think, you know, I've never been married as long as I've never been married, but I've never had that experience where I was really committed to somebody and then, well, because I've just never had that experience. But let's just talk about Chris's experience and not try to put me into the situation because I do not fit into the Chris Watts experience picture. Chris Watts was with Shanann for, 8 years. He was used to her. I think he absolutely thought that, he was just going to, stay happy in that marriage. I don't think he envisioned himself really straying or thought that he would or he could. But then here comes Nicole Kessinger, a situation that he wasn't, anticipating, having experiences I don't think he's ever had before for sure. And it probably was pretty confusing to him on just a normal, like how your brain processes things level. And then I think when Shanann came back and he was, having feelings of love for her again, that just added to it. And all of this, Nicole Kessinger was watching like a hawk and she perceived all of it. She took it in and it just fueled her mission. It enraged her. She was terrified she was going to lose Chris. And this is how she became willing to do really whatever it took to keep him without regard for, happiness, life, or limb of others thereon. And I think that's how we get to the conclusion we're ultimately going to get to in this case. Veronica says her phone record, even her phone records were so off of what she did on a daily basis on that day. Everything was different. That is true. That's true. That's definitely true. Made a whole video about that. Well, actually, probably like 2 or 3, but I eventually just boiled it down into one that was the best of all of it. 111-minute conversation was on Sunday night. Yeah, we got confused there. Sorry. Or I got confused. Sorry about that. This is the bottom line. Cheetah Love says, basically, we want these beautiful people to get full justice. It doesn't seem NK is innocent of all of this. Exactly. And why some people are so put off or shocked by that or pretend to be shocked by that is just beyond me. NK selling her truck was a major red flag. Yeah, I don't know too much information about that, but people say that that's what happened, and it seems like perhaps it was. And if that is the case, it sure was. Honey Bun says, some women are closet stalkers. I can see NK just wanting to have some form of reassurance, and she could have drove by like a psycho chick. And, I have always thought that, but I think Amanda K's point was a really good one. What would she find out? What would she gain? Shanann was in the house. The girls were in the house. She wouldn't have been able to tell if Shanann was home. By the time that she pinged there, she knew Chris Watts would have left for work half an hour, 45 minutes ago. So what would she have done? Been reassured just by driving by, the facade of the house? I mean, I see what you're saying, but I think that the point that Amanda K just made that I had never thought of before was pretty solid. Yeah, and then Amanda K says, yeah, I was saying that the drive-by theory just doesn't seem likely to me personally, and some people use that to explain the paying as a possibility. I think you came up with a good Occam's razor solution there. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate your support. Yeah, I know sometimes you do need a break. Yeah. Oh, hey, Colleen Casey. Colleen Casey says, I actually tried to start a file of notes years ago, Kelly, just for when you were searching your memory for a fact. I was going to have quick answers like a good Watsy Obsession nerd girl. That's awesome. A file of notes. Oh, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah, I have like, because, like Justice A through Z is always, you're the one who always said there's like an encyclopedia of what's knowledge here. And it is, and I have it, but it's all in files across wherever. And I know they exist and I know approximately where to find it. But sometimes, trying to sometimes your head just spins, right? Yeah. I love that idea though. I love that idea. Oh, well, thank you, Colleen Casey. That's so sweet of you to say. I really appreciate that. Veronica says, if it was a drive-by, she should have been able to have her morning alibi. She doesn't have, she has nothing but lies, lies, lies. And why? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Great points, guys. 40 years of marriage this October. Congratulations. That is amazing. A lot of give and take, I'm sure. I can't even imagine. That's amazing. I really admire people that are able to achieve that. He thought for a New York minute that he was in love. He didn't realize that he was a cult member of NK's cult. He did not realize he was being manipulated. He was something of NK's, that's for sure. If she told Rourke she was on the phone with Watts when he sent her the pic from Survey, why isn't there a record of that? Things are missing from what we have. Yes, she told Kobach that in the one of the phone interviews. It was the second one, the one from August 21st. It was the second half of it, the second half for which there's no audio for either of them. Was that a mistake? Was that an accident or not? I'm saying definitely not, because in both of them, juicy things were discussed that you can find on this channel on my playlist of interviews with Nicole Kessinger. I found the transcript for the second half of that phone call, and it was, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Some people are like, oh, you can find that all over the place. I don't know. It was hard for me to find. I'll tell you that much when I looked for it. So I wanted to make a record of it. So I read out the transcript and also give you, a printout of the transcript. And that's where that said, yeah, she very clearly says she was on the phone with him when he sent her the pictures to prove that he was in fact at Survey 319, as she demanded of him to do. And I have also noticed that that is one of the things that is conspicuously missing from the Discovery timeline, or the Discovery at all. Really good catch. And they tried to do away with the recording of it too. Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Way to go, law enforcement. Oh, it's all good. It's easy to get those freaking shady people mixed up. Movie, too much, Mom. Movie idea. YouTube true crime group. Kid bloops suspect in murder case and takes her to a deserted building and tapes her confession. We joke, YouTube. We would never do that, but that's a funny idea. We kid. We tease YouTube. We tease. Good question. Leah asks, has anyone ever contacted Nicole Kessinger's former boyfriend, Sean? The one who didn't know how to bleep, beep, 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 sexual act? Poor Sean. Now the whole world knows that. Who supposedly wouldn't commit, among other things. There was a thread on Reddit that Sean supposedly commented on, but I can't find it. Sean could be helpful. I'd heard that before and I looked for it. I can't find any information on him, but I would totally contact him if I could find the information. as I'm sure many other people would. So maybe we should try to look for that. It's so hard to find. And again, just points to the fact that she was able to, go dark off of the grid. And no one can do that, no matter how hard you try. So she had to have some official help, if you know what I mean. She had to. That is a remarkable feat. Reddit. Yeah, Reddit is like, you got to use discretion like anything else, right? So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to end this because I'm going to get a good sleep. Get a good night of sleep tonight. Colin Casey likes your idea, Leah. Oh, wait. Was that a different idea? Now I have to go back and see. Where's Leah? Oh, my chat. Oh, okay. There we go. I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, but this is the first one I saw, so I'm just going to read it, and then I'm going to go. And seeing as NK is a pathological, lying, malignant narcissist, in my opinion, I share that opinion. If she won the prize, Chris, not a prize, her true self would have reared its ugly head. Yes, it would have, as it already was. Agreed on that as well. And they would have split up. Damn straight. Ding, 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 ding. Perfect comment. Excellent theory. I agree 100% on that. I think you were spot on. Thank you, Kez, and all the rest of the moderators. I appreciate you guys so much. Couldn't do it without you. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, please do thank our moderators. Chris is no prize. No prize, Chris. No prize. Hi, Sharon Norris. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Yeah. So, okay, everyone have a good night. If you have not yet seen the part 2, I hope that the audio is okay. I'm nervous. You're going to watch it anyway, and forgive me for the audio if it's patchy. We're going to blame YouTube. Please write them, call them, send them a carrier pigeon telling them that they need to stop pulling this crap. The only thing is, oh, what? You can't get in touch with them. So frustrating. Oh, let's see. Red Raider says, I own a truck like Chris drove for work. No way he lifted her into that back seat. No way. You can't convince me. Never. Why is that? Is it would it have been too precarious, too high up? What is it about lifting her up? And I mean, I can imagine ways why it would be difficult, but I want to know what you think since you have that kind of truck. What exactly is it that you think would be like impossible to lift Shanann up into that truck? And thank you very much for commenting with that. I'm going to wait for just a minute. I want to see if I get an answer from Red Raider. Too narrow, says Veronica. I've heard that before too. I don't know. I mean, I have thoughts on that stuff, but I don't know. Oh, thank you, Tina. It's so nice. Kelly, your pillar of the pursuit for justice for Shanann, Bell, and Cece. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. And baby Nico, Godspeed on this journey for all to be held accountable. Amen to that. NK, top of the list. I totally agree. And thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. I very much appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Red Raider says too high up. I never even thought of that aspect, like that dimension of the truck. But yeah, if you say so, you're the expert if you drive that truck, because I haven't even eyeballed a real. I haven't even thought to do that, but it probably would be helpful in thinking things through. Kez says, and this is a point too, this is a legit point too, I feel he could have lifted Shanann up. He was running on adrenaline. That's something to consider as well. That is true. And then Anna says, I agree, Red Raider, the video would have captured it because it would take more than 15 seconds. Yeah. Really good points, guys. Really good points. And without casting a shadow, yeah. There's just one point in that video, and I have to find it sometime because I refer to it all the time. And then when I go to look for it, like if we're in a live, forget about it because I just don't even know around where it is because I don't know why I've never committed that to memory. But there is just one point where to me, it looks like he could almost be dragging something where he's like walking backwards and dragging something that it looks like to me he's putting forth amount of effort that may indicate it's heavy. And I could be totally wrong about this. Maybe I'm just making this up. But almost like he's holding somebody in like a reverse, like fireman's hold, walking backwards, like taking kind of big steps backwards until the point where you could. But then I guess what would the next maneuver be then to get that person that you're dragging in a reverse, like fireman's hold into the truck? That would have to be quite a maneuver. Now, if you had somebody on the other end lifting up the feet, that would be a different story. But would they have had the forethought to keep that person far enough back towards the garage where their shadow would not be revealed? That would take a lot of thinking. I don't know. I really just don't know. Don't know. But there's some things to think about. Thanks to you guys. Anaphylaxis says she doesn't think it's too high, but too narrow. I'm going to have to go find me one of these trucks now. Can't be that hard. Muckboy says, I don't remember him pulling anything. Also, imagine doing that in the daylight with people pausing on the street. That would be so crazy to try. Well, it seemed like there wasn't really people on the street, but I think it still would be so crazy to try. But this whole thing is fucking crazy, right? So, I mean, I don't put it past them. But, I don't think it's like an obvious, I don't know. I'll have to show it to you guys sometime because I think that it could be what I'm seeing as being what I just described, I think could easily be mistaken as something different, but maybe I'm mistaking it. So who knows? But anyway, I'll try to find it so I can show you. Yeah, we'll have to look at it again sometime soon. Oops. Oh, okay. I'm going to stop reading comments because they're so good. I'm just going to keep reading. So everyone have an awesome night. There'll be more things to come. Don't know when, sometime soon. I'm going to take like a day or two to, do things, to take a nap, to clean my bunny cages. Oh my God. They want to come over and clean 28 bunny cages because I don't want to do that. So things like that. But love y'all. And remember, life is hard, especially when you're looking forward to cleaning 28 bunny cages. So be nice to people because they might have to clean 28 bunny cages and they don't need your shit. But especially be nice to yourself because you deserve it. You do. It was 6 a.m. By the time he left at 5:43. So, and I think that, talking here about and we've looked before when daylight is on that day of the year, in Colorado. And, I think it is important to get specific about the times. He left at 5:43. So, I can't remember when he first came into view there, but that was the timing. Yeah. Which again means that, NK's 616 ping would have missed him by over half an hour, which again, I really, I want to again point to Amanda K's theory that the drive-by idea doesn't make any sense because what would Empanada what would she have gained? She wouldn't have expected to see Shanann. She knew she got home in the early morning hours, just a little bit before she was doing the drive-by. She knew that Chris had already left. So what would she have gained by doing that? That was such a really good point. I know YouTube is a multi-billion-dollar company with no customer service. Isn't that remarkable? Guys, we should demand more. Let's start demanding more. We've accepted this, and that's really that's crazy. But seriously, here we are. All right, guys, everyone have a great night. Be good to yourself, and I'll see you soon.